I made sure my best friend had a mental breakdown before graduation, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Me and Lizzie have been joined at the hip since 3rd grade. When we got our first periods, we literally sent each other photos of our underwear and compared colors. Well, we were on what was probably our millionth sleepover in senior year when she completely broke down one minute. We were making prank calls to our old situationships about pizza they'd never ordered, and the next, she was crying her eyes out, getting ready to tell me her secret. She made me swear 100 times that I wouldn't tell anyone, and we even pinky promised. That's when she showed me. All across her legs were scars. I've been hurting myself, she whispered. I stared at the angry, red, deliberately placed in rows like she was keeping score of something I couldn't understand. Her hands shook as she pulled her pajama pants back down, and when she looked up at me, her eyes were so empty it made my chest hurt. I've been having really dark thoughts, she whispered, and the way she said dark made me understand she had been keeping this in for months. You can't tell anyone about what I showed you. Promise me. Swear on our friendship you won't tell anyone. I promised her that night, because what else do you do when your best friend is sobbing in your arms at 3 a.m.? But the weight of what I promised made me feel nauseous. I was already questioning if I'd made the right decision. Over the next few weeks, I watched Lizzie disappear into her depression piece by piece. It was like watching a depressive episode while she fell apart in real time. She started skipping lunch, saying she wasn't hungry, but I knew she was just avoiding the cafeteria because eating meant energy, and energy meant living, which she didn't want to do anymore. She wore her dad's oversized hoodies even when it hit 85 degrees. When Connor made a joke about making it to college, Lizzie laughed and said, "Bold of you to assume I'll be alive for that." Everyone laughed. I felt sick, knowing how much she meant those words. I couldn't sleep anymore. At 2 a.m., I'd be on my phone researching Reddit, looking up things like what to do if a friend is Sewers Lytle, and finding post after post from people saying, I wish I'd told someone about what my friend told me sooner, and I kept their secret, and now they're gone. I wanted to tell someone so badly, but then I'd get a notification from Lizzie, and I'd see all the heart emojis I put after her contact name. It reminded me how much she trusted me, and I'd close the tabs on my browser. I tried dropping subtle hints. During carpool with her and her mom on the way to school, I mentioned to Lizzie's mom how stressed Lizzie seemed lately, how she wasn't eating much. Her mom just laughed and said, teenagers and their diets, right? I wanted to scream that it wasn't about diets, but the words wouldn't come. How do you tell someone's mother that their daughter is planning her own self-unalive? In PE, Mrs. Midge asked why Lizzie wouldn't change into shorts anymore. I opened my mouth, the truth about her scars right there on my tongue, but I said, she's just cold, instead. Mrs. Midge shrugged and moved on. Another chance gone. Then Lizzie showed me her playlist. She called it funeral songs, and laughed like it was funny. 23 songs she'd picked for people to remember her by. She'd even written notes about why she chose each one. The playlist had a date on it 3 weeks away. I tried writing the email to our guidance counselor 15 times, but telling meant betraying her. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. Lizzie had been crying in the bathroom during chemistry, and she didn't come back for 10 minutes, so I went to the bathroom too. It took a full minute of me begging her to let me into the bathroom stall she was in when she finally opened the door. And when I saw her, she was in the middle of self-injuring. Tears streamed down her face. Thank you for being the only person who really knows me. I love you. It wasn't even dramatic, just sounded like she was sick of being alive. That was enough confirmation for me. The joke about missing graduation wasn't a joke. The playlist wasn't hypothetical. The cuts weren't coping. She was saying goodbye in pieces, hoping I'd be too loyal to stop her. I walked into the guidance counselor's office during lunch the next day. My hands shook so bad I could barely open the door. The guidance counselor, Mrs. Brett, looked up from her sandwich and immediately knew something was wrong. I told her everything. The cuts, the playlist, the jokes that weren't jokes, the date she'd picked. Mrs. Brett's face went from concerned to urgent. She thanked me, said I did the right thing, but all I could think about was how Lizzie would never forgive me. She called Lizzie in immediately. I was still in the hallway when Lizzie arrived, confusion on her face until she saw me leaving Mrs. Brett's office. The realization hit her like a physical blow. You promised me, she said, her voice breaking. You promised. She never came back to school after that. I never knew what happened until 2 years later when I got a text from an unknown number. Thank you for breaking your promise.